Anime Reborn just released to the public today at the time that I'm making this video, and I personally have had a little bit over a day now to try out the game, test out the units, the gameplay mechanics, the gameplay loop, all that type of stuff. And after thoroughly playing most of what the game has to offer, I think I'm ready to give my review and thoughts on the game as I see it so far. Before I actually get into the review, I am going to be structuring it through the good, the bad, and the things that I want to talk about. Little spoiler alert here, there's not much bad for me to talk about. This game has pleasantly surprised me, and as I said in an earlier video, I had my expectations pretty low coming into this game. Not because I thought the game would be a failure, or I disliked the game from the get-go, but I always try to keep a low expectation when going into these types of games, because overhyping a game and having these insanely high and realistic expectations for an anime tower defense game never ends well, and it only serves to disappoint you. So with all that being said, let's get into the things that I liked about the game, which are a good amount. Let's start with what I think is arguably the most important aspect out of any one of these games, and that's, does it play well? Does it feel good to play? Do I, as the player, enjoy doing the same gameplay loop over and over again? Because if I don't, then frankly, why am I playing the game? And I would say that this game feels really smooth to play. There was a surprising lack of bugs. Maybe it's because I've been conditioned by other tower defense games to expect bugs on release and on update days, but the fact that this game had little to no bugs at all genuinely dumbfounded me. It really did just completely surprised me. Again, not because I thought the game was going to be bad on release, but it's just such a common, like an anime trope, except it's for tower defense games where they just have to come out with a bunch of bugs. And this game, although it does have some visual bugs here or there, one of them that I can very easily point out is the fact that the enemy's health bar doesn't go down all the way, like as quickly as the number goes down. So it's a little bit of a disconnect there. You'll see that the enemy has like 20 HP out of 700, but their red bar is still completely full, so it looks like they have full health. That's a bug that I can name right now. But by lack of bugs, I mean that there's really no gameplay altering bugs. There's no bugs that hinder my experience while I'm playing the game. Even on release, even during early access testing that I got to play a day before, I encountered quite literally no bugs. At least none that I could blatantly point out and complain about. So I think that the game plays well. It doesn't have that choppy feeling that a new tower defense game might be plagued with. It feels very smooth and good to play, and I definitely think that's a plus. Now, something else that I'd like to talk about is the fact that this game feels pretty free-to-play friendly. Now, obviously, like any tower defense game, if you drop your wallet on there, put your mortgage the house so you can buy more rerolls, you're gonna be at a bigger advantage than the average player. But this game definitely lends itself more to the free-to-play crowd. There is so many ways of getting free rerolls. It's the, let me name some right now, index rewards. That's one. Another one is the leveling rewards. Every single time you level up from 1, 2, 3, or 4, you get a free reroll, and you also get some free gems and gold. Another one is the legend stages and the story mode stages all give you rerolls, as well as infinite mode. I am not sure if these are infinitely farmable, so don't quote me on that, but it is an avenue for players to get rerolls without actually having to pay any money on the game. Overall, this game doesn't feel as oppressive to the free-to-play player as other tower defense games might feel, and this is definitely a welcome change. I, for one, am all for having a game that gives the average player a chance to compete, or at least a chance to feel as powerful as the people who spend hundreds of dollars on this game, even though at the end of the day I know that's never going to happen. Baby steps. And these are baby steps in the right direction. Now, something else that I think is very nice about the game is that the gameplay loop doesn't feel too long. What do I mean by this? Well, to give you an example, games like Anime Last Stand or Anime Defenders felt like they were plagued with a sense of monotony. Players would often complain that the average story mode, legend stage, raid, you name it, felt too long and it felt boring. What did these games do to circumvent this? They added 2x and 3x speed to make the gameplay experience a little faster, and this seemed to appease most of its players. Now, Anime Reborn doesn't really seem to need that at all. The stages themselves take 5 minutes at most, and you could literally get that down to 2 to 3 minutes if you know what you're doing and you have good units and you just place them in the front to kill the enemies. What I'm trying to say is that the stages feel just long enough to garner a reward, but not long enough for me to sit there wondering why I'm watching Lego characters fight back and forth for 15 minutes in one sitting. Something else that I enjoy about the game are the models. I personally find the models to look very nice, especially in game. Allegedly, these models were all taken from Roblox catalog. I've had a few people DM me about this, and I don't know if this is true or not. Like I said, it's alleged, so I can't confirm or deny these statements. Me personally, I haven't seen them on Roblox catalog myself, so I really don't know if this is true or not. Regardless, I think the models look nice and they look like anime characters, and when you're playing an anime tower defense game, what more could you ask for? Something else that I think is good about the game is that the process of earning secrets in higher tier units feels fair. Now, what do I mean by this? This game currently, at the time that I'm making this video, has about 3 secret units, I believe, 2 of which are completely obtainable for free by doing legend stages. I think that is an incredibly good thing. When you don't lock your secret units and high tier characters behind a paywall, and you instead give players a way to grind for it and earn it themselves, that is an absolutely great addition to any game, and I think it only serves as a positive. It makes the community happy because they get to grind out a good unit without having to shell out any money, and it makes the hardcore grinders of the game happy because, you know, I already know there are dudes who will sit there and grind the same legend stage over and over and over and over and over again to get a shiny because that's what they want to do and they have fun. So overall, having secrets that are earnable through in-game rewards instead of just who spends the most gems or who gets the luckiest is a great thing in my opinion. There are also some other miscellaneous things that I liked about the game, namely being the auto upgrade feature. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go in-game, press T, and you'll see a little on and off switch that you can turn on any unit to auto upgrade them. I did not know how badly I needed this change until I started playing with it. It's one of those things that once you start using it, you don't know how you live without it, because now every other tower defense game that I play, I feel like a Neanderthal. I feel like a caveman having to manually upgrade my own unit when Anime Reborn just lets me auto upgrade my farm units for free for not doing anything. In fact, I'm surprised they didn't make that a game pass because they very easily could have. That is such a great quality of life feature, and I absolutely love it. Whoever came up with that feature specifically deserves a raise because, oh my god, it is just so convenient, and it is a feature that I'm surprised no other game has implemented yet, at least from what I've played so far. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Something else I like, the gold shop. I've always been a big gold shop advocate. You guys know this if you've watched any of my videos recently. I love gold shops. Just gives players a way to dump all of their excess gold into resources that are actually useful. So absolutely no complaints from me about that. Overall, this game is everything that you'd want from an anime tower defense game. If you are the average casual player of this genre of Roblox game, I don't think this is going to disappoint you at all. It is exactly what you want it to be, and it lives up to that job very well. With all that being said, that concludes all the good things that I have to say about this game. I imagine this is going to take up the majority of the video. We're already 9 minutes in. Nonetheless, let's move into the bad. The first thing that I think is bad about this game is its monetization. Now, I know that I was just praising the game about how free to play it is, and complaining about an anime tower defense game being pay to win is like going out into the rain and being upset that you got wet. You're doing it to yourself. But either way, I'm going to talk about it anyway because it's my video and I feel like it's worth mentioning. The monetization for this game isn't too egregious, but the main thing that I want to draw your attention to is the bundles.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Now, I'm well aware that these bundles won't really hurt your gameplay experience if you buy them or don't, and it's more so for the pay-to-win players that want to get things a little bit more conveniently and faster. Nonetheless, it still leaves a sour taste in my mouth when I play any Roblox game and I see bundles for thousands upon thousands of Robux, because it makes me not feel like a player of that game. It makes me feel like I'm more of a dollar sign, a wallet. Just a statistical number that'll squeeze them out some more money. And although it's not a huge gripe that I have with the game, it is something that I personally found bad, so I thought it was worth mentioning. The game is overhyped is a statement that I've heard being echoed a lot over these past few days, whether that be in my YouTube comments, my Discord DMs, the main Discord for Anime Reborn. A lot of people seem to dislike the game because it does have a lot of hype behind it. And I've said it once, I'll say it again, overhyping any game on Roblox will never end well and can only lead to bad things. Because when you set yourself up to have these insanely high expectations for a Roblox game, or any game as a matter of fact, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Now, do I agree with this take? Do I think the game is overhyped? I am gonna stay neutral on this because I really truly cannot fall into one side or the other. On one hand, I can see how this game isn't deserving of the religious player base that it has that treated this game like it was the second coming of Christ. But on the other hand, I see the game for what it is, and it does its job pretty well. It's an anime tower defense game with relatively free-to-play progression, units that look like the anime characters, decent models and animations, and a relatively fun progression system for the average player to dive into. So, although this isn't really a good or bad thing, I thought I'd just include it in the bad anyway, but let's move into our closing thoughts. Something that I think this game executes very, very well, and I would arguably say it's one of its strongest suits, is the fact that it learns from other tower defense games. It doesn't choose to actively outdo the competition, rather it chooses to learn from their shortcomings and implement the best of their game into Anime Reborn in hopes of making the best product for their users. What do I mean by this? Some of the quality of life features in this game I recognize from Anime Vanguards, namely the keybinds to upgrade and place units, the manage units option that lets you see all of your units and upgrade them. Now, am I saying that Anime Vanguards invented this system? Absolutely not. But they definitely were the first big Roblox tower defense game, to popularize that quality of life feature. And I don't think it's a stretch to say that Anime Reborn saw how much players love that part of Anime Vanguards, and they chose to add it into their game. Something else on the topic of adding things to their game, their UI looks very nice. I've heard other YouTubers praise the UI of this game for looking clean, professional, and overall very, very nice, very appealing to the eye. Why is this the case? Well, it's because they looked at another big competitor, Anime Defenders, and they took inspiration from their UI. The UI for these two games looks nigh identical, and it's not a coincidence. Anime Reborn was actively studying the competition, and they were making sure that they had the best of both worlds, the best features, the strongest parts of each game. They were making sure that they were taking notes, and for good reason. It led to a pretty well-developed end product, which is why the good section of this video outweighed the bad so much, because I didn't have anything to complain about. And I'm not really one to nitpick and really start going into the nitty-gritty of, oh, this game sucks because pixel number 33 is off by 2 centimeters and this is not accurate to the anime and I hate this game. I'm not that type of person. I played the game, and I really genuinely had more good than bad to say. And I think that's a good thing. A lot of people will look at this comparison and immediately point the finger to, you're a copycat, you suck, I hate you, this game's bad. I see a lot of people be upset with the fact that one game takes inspiration from another game. It's along the lines of, oh, this anime tower defense game did the same thing this other anime tower defense game did, and even though I enjoyed it in that game, I don't like seeing it in this game. Oh, these copycats, these scoundrels. I don't really agree with that way of thinking. I'm a firm believer that competition breeds excellence. And I think that applies to most things in life, including Roblox Anime Tower Defense games. If the quality of life features that Anime Vanguards has, for example, become commonplace in every single Anime Tower Defense game or every single Tower Defense game on Roblox, I'm not complaining, because that's a good change. The fact that that is normalized in all future games just ensures that players get a better product than they had 2 or 3 years ago. Why would I, as a consumer of these games, complain about the fact that these games are getting better? They're evolving. They're improving on their predecessors. I, for one, just don't see the logic behind that, but I could be wrong. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. But to bring this video to a close, I think I just have 2 more questions to answer. Number 1, did I like the game? Yes, I enjoyed the game. It was a fun time sink, and I liked watching my units do cool moves and kill the enemies. Do I think this game has staying power? Do I think this game will cement itself as one of the big games in this genre, giving Anime Vanguards a run for its money and maybe even killing off other games in the process? I don't know. I really, truly don't know. It's really hard for me to give that answer right now, and the best answer that I can give you right now is only time will tell. Who knows if Anime Reborn will be around a year, 2 years, 3 years, a week, 2 weeks, a month from now. Maybe they'll get DMCA striked. Maybe they never will. Maybe GameFam chose to just chill out and they're just going to let Anime Tower Defense games be on Roblox. Maybe they're going to take away players from Anime Vanguards and give them some solid competition. Who knows? Really, we just have to wait and see how it plays out. We have to look at how frequent their update schedules are. We have to look at the quality of the updates. Does the game have any glaring issues that they refuse to fix? All I can tell you now is only time will tell. But so far, so good. Do I think that this game is like a real scary competitor for Anime Vanguards? Frankly, not. I really don't think that's the case. At the time that I'm making this video, Anime Vanguards has more concurrent players than Anime Reborn, and Anime Reborn just released today. So this is supposed to be the peak. This is supposed to be a very high point in their concurrent players, yet they're not really overthrowing. How does that expression even go? They're not really taking the throne of Anime Vanguards as the #1 Anime Tower Defense game at the moment. So if they can't do it on release, I honestly doubt that an update is going to change that. Still, the game is incredibly popular. Over 55,000 concurrent players at the time that I'm recording this. So yeah, I think that if handled well, with good updates, good frequent updates that are on a set schedule, with good, communication, content, not screwing over the free-to-play player base, I think this game is going to be around for a while. I really do. But once again, who knows how things will go? We'll just have to wait and see. With all that being said, that is going to wrap up my review of Anime Reborn. If you guys enjoyed the video or liked hearing me talk about the game, feel free to like, sub, comment. Let me know what you guys thought about my opinions on the game. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Where do you think the game is going to be a year from now? And with that all out of the way, thank you for making it till the end of the video. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and we'll catch you in the next one.